Hello there. There comes a time in everyone's life when everything changes. We don't always think before we act, but when we look back, we can see that everything in this world has a purpose. Furthermore, everything follows its own pattern and order. Today I'm going to tell you a story that demonstrates once again that our actions and decisions determine our fate. But first things first, this Feic family had a good life. They had a lovely home, good jobs, and a large circle of friends. They most enjoyed spending time with their 2-year-old daughter Charlotte. Her carefree attitude and endearing laugh made her parents see the world in a new light. All they needed was a pet to be completely content. So the family went to an animal shelter one sunny day. They noticed numerous abandoned animals barking and meowing all over the place. But, miraculously, the couple fell in love with an older dog named Con right away. The Doberman had a strong body and appeared aggressive, but the SLS didn't mind because they believed his eyes were full of kindness. He was sitting alone in his crate, staring out the window at all the strangers passing by. However, when the couples appeared to have made their decision, the shelter employees became concerned. Con had already been taken home by several families, but they always brought him back for various reasons. Despite his obedience and kindness, the employee advised choosing another dog. Catherine and her husband, on the other hand, did not waste any time. Despite all odds, they accepted him into their family. Little did the spouses know that something would forever change their attitude toward the newly acquired pet in less than a week. I recall the day we brought Con home from the shelter. Surprisingly, he quickly established himself. We were initially hesitant to let him near our toddler, but then we realized he wouldn't hurt us. We saw that he was sincere and kind, and that he adored each of us. The family's head admitted that the dog lived both inside and outside. Catherine and Brian were initially concerned that leaving him in the yard would cause him to flee. However, it soon became clear that he was not going to flee because he had grown attached to his new home. He grew particularly close to Charlotte. They spent a significant amount of time together. The youngster even attempted to ride the dogs. Con didn't seem to mind. He played with her as if he were a child himself. Nothing seemed to be able to break this friendship until something terrible happened. The weekend was spent with the family. Catherine and her husband sat on the porch, watching their daughter play on the soft green lawn. Of course, Con was by her side, watching and wagging his tail. To say it was a lovely sight is an understatement. The SLS were overjoyed at the time, and despite the fact that Con was a new addition to the family, he developed an incredible bond with the child while playing. Charlotte started calling for Kay to join her, and because the new family member was always eager to play with the toddler, he ran as soon as he heard his name. But only a second later. To say the least, something shocking occurred when Con dashed over to Charlotte, jumped up, and started growling. He pushed the girl back with his front paws, causing the child to skip back and start crying loudly. What had happened had taken the parents by surprise. They couldn't believe the dog who had been so friendly to the girl could be so cruel to her. Meanwhile, Con was barking angrily and attempting to nudge the child away. When it appeared that Con had bitten Charlotte, Catherine and her husband rushed to her aid. They couldn't believe their eyes when they started inspecting the scene of the incident. Con, it turned out, ran up to the child for a completely different reason. He didn't bite her, and he had no intention of hurting her. Quite the contrary. He was attempting to shield the child. My wife and I couldn't believe what we were witnessing. I instructed Catherine to accompany Charlotte inside Brian, the girl's father. Charlotte and Con were not the only ones out on the lawn that day. Catherine and Brian had no idea a deadly, poisonous snake lurked in the grass. It's not difficult to imagine how things would have turned out if Kay hadn't noticed the snake or protected Charlotte. He attempted to place himself between the girl and the deadly snake, pushing the child away. The dog put himself in danger, but the life of the girl was more important to him than his own. It turned out that this was no ordinary garden, but a true poison. A snake with lethal venom. The snake was preparing to strike. When Kay used his body to protect Charlotte, the snake sank its teeth into the skin of the Con with a quick movement. The dog started whimpering. He was clearly in pain. The bite site swelled up quickly. Brian realized he needed to act quickly if they were to save the dog, so they decided to take Ka to the vet. Catherine watched the scene in the yard from the window after she had taken Charlotte inside. Con was lying on the ground and breathing heavily when she noticed the snake crawl away. A lethal venom was slowly infiltrating his body. Brian picked up the dog, loaded him into the backseat of his car, and drove him to the veterinarian. Khan was given an antidote in painkillers by the vet, but he couldn't make any promises. Fortunately, Khan proved to be a tough dog, and he survived the deadly snake's bite. Following several days at the Khan was a true hero when he returned home to his family. This fake family began to value their furry friend even more after this incident. Catherine believes Charlotte only survived that day because of their dog's bravery and self-sacrifice. She couldn't bear the thought that only a few days before, they had been discouraged from taking him home. Charlotte weighs slightly more than 10 kilograms. I believe the snake's venom could have killed her. I'm so glad we chose to take Khan from the shelter. Despite the fact that it was not an easy decision, he is now a true member of our family. He is a wonderful thing for us. Catherine believes that it is sometimes unbelievable how brave animals can be and what they are willing to do for the sake of humans. They teach us kindness through self-sacrifice, love, and natural instincts, often at the expense of their own lives. So there you have it, guys. If you've always wanted to own a or another pet, but you're still undecided, perhaps the story of this fake family will help you decide. That's all for today. Share your thoughts on our story. Do you believe that animals make conscious decisions to save humans at the expense of their own lives? I'll see you soon. Bye.